What is up, guys? Merry Christmas for all those that you celebrate Christmas, and happy holidays for everyone else. In this video, we're talking about some of the basic beginner moves that you need to learn as a new spark flyer. Okay, I know a ton of you just got the spark. It's Christmas. I actually sat down to shoot this video this morning and checked my analytics for YouTube, and my Spark Beginner's Guide is like, there's a ton of new flyers out there. And I know there's a ton of you that are wondering, what are the moves that I need to learn, or what are the different skills that I need to fly the Spark and get awesome footage? So I'm putting this together. It's 10 moves. They're the basic things that you should start practicing. And what I mean is that when you're flying a drone, there's a bunch of different movement patterns that get really cool shots. So things like going up, going down, being right over your subject flying. And unless you're really looking at how things are shot, when you get up there and start flying the first time, you wonder how you get some of these shots. So let's break down the basic movements. These are things that you should practice at the beginning. After you go through the beginner's guide, after you get the drone flying, you get set up, you understand how everything works. Then you start practicing these moves, and these are the moves that you'll use to start getting some really awesome footage. All right, so let's just get into it.
Okay, one note before we get started. All your movements need to be smooth. If you do anything jerky, it's going to pull the viewer out of the scene. And your job as the filmmaker, as the shooter, as the cinematographer, is to create cool shots where people feel the emotion of the scene, or they see something that's very dramatic, but they don't necessarily notice the camera move itself. As soon as someone starts thinking like, why is the camera doing that? They're going to be pulled out of the scene, and they're going to be not as engaged with your video. So what you want to do is create cool cinematic movements that are smooth, buttery, that aren't super jerky, because that is what's going to really captivate your audience. Number one, you're going to be using the left joystick for this, and you're just going to be pushing up on the left joystick. When you push up on that joystick, it's going to make you raise up into the air. When you're learning to fly, obviously that's how you get up. You get the drone up and you start taking off. But you can use this movement of just moving vertically upwards to get some cool cinematic footage. So with this movement, what you're able to do is go from the ground and go up to reveal a landscape. Or you could be moving up an object such as a building. What it does is it gives you that ability to start with one frame, and as you move up, it reveals the bigger picture. Okay, number two is the opposite of that. The opposite of that is pulling down on the left joystick. When you do this, you can be high in the sky and the drone is going to come down. And this one is different than moving up because you're not revealing the bigger picture. You're going to be coming down. And so what that does is it could do a reveal in a way where a subject could be on the ground, or there could be something lower that when you come down, it comes into frame and it reveals it. So you start with this big open landscape, and maybe you're coming down and it reveals like a person standing down on the ground, or a bike moving, or a house. There's a lot of different ways that you can use this to reveal something cool that's on the ground using a cinematic movement. Okay, number three, we're going to stay in the left joystick. You're going to push the joystick left or right. And what that does is it pans the drone. This is really cool because you can get high in the sky and you can do a pan. So just like a normal camera on a tripod, you can pan it left or right. It's a great establishing type shot where you could see everything in the scene. You get a movement, but you also get to see everything. The beauty is with a drone, you can get yourself high in the sky and reveal a massive landscape. You can see more than you normally would see from the ground. So play with feathering left and right to create a cool looking pan to show an entire landscape. Number four, we're going to move over to the right joystick now. And the first thing that you need to learn on this joystick is just moving forwards. And that is pushing up on the right joystick. Moving forwards is like a very basic movement, but it's a very cinematic movement when you use it properly. So you got to get yourself lower to the ground. If you're way high in the sky, then you can't see the movement of the drone as well. When you get yourself down lower, you can skim things. You can see the land moving underneath the drone, and that's where this becomes very cinematic. Moving forward with a drone is a very cinematic shot and something that I use all the time. Okay, number five is moving backwards. So when you move backwards with the drone, that is taking your right joystick and pulling down on it. It's the same type of movement as moving forward, but moving backwards. Now, the difference is when you move backwards into a scene, play with your audience and start with one idea, and then as you pull back, it reveals something bigger. So for example, if you're shooting one scene and you pull back, well, maybe the ocean is behind you and you reveal a beach and you reveal the water crashing. There's ways where using your forwards and your backwards really create these cool cinematic dramatic shots when you bring the drone closer to the ground and show more of the scene rather than being way high in the sky. Okay, number 6 is going to be the last movement with the camera straight up in the air, shooting horizontal, and that's pushing left or right on the right joystick. And what that does is it makes a dolly shot. And what I mean by a dolly shot is a movement from left to right or right to left where the camera's facing straight out. It looks really cool and is very cinematic. I often use these in my videos just because it's a cool way to show the landscape. Number 7, we're gonna do something with just the camera itself now. If you watched one of my other videos on the best settings for cinematic results with the Spark, then you'll have your gimbal already set up. However, what you wanna do is drop the speed of your gimbal down low so that when you use your gimbal wheel, it has a very slow movement up and down. What you're gonna do is pan the camera from up to down and down to up. And what you get to do is show your scene just as you were panning left to right, a big establishing shot, but showing from up to down so you can look straight down on an object and then pan up to reveal the bigger picture. Make sure you dial in your settings to where it feels smooth and buttery and it looks great. Okay, so now we want to take our camera and point it straight down because we're going to change the perspective and now do some motions with the camera straight down that give a really cool cinematic look. So number 8, we're going to be using the right joystick. Your camera's pointed straight down. You got your drone a little bit of distance in the sky, and now you're going to push forwards, backwards, left, or right. It's going to show the landscape in a really cool way. When you're high above an object and you're pointing straight down, it's a perspective that most people don't get to see, and it's really cool to see places from the sky. So use your right joystick to do some different movements to show the landscape and to show what it is that you're shooting from this top-down view. And this is a shot that people love seeing, so this is a really cool one to play with. Number 9 is the same shot, except you're going to be moving down or up. Now use your left joystick. Now if you pull down on it or you push up on it, you're going to float down into a scene or up into a scene. This is cool because you can really get that top-down perspective and then float down into a scene where there's something specific that draws the viewer's attention. So play with this, play with, that top-down view and going into a subject or out of a subject. And number 10 is kind of a jumping off to more advanced style of drone techniques. And that is you're going to start putting these techniques together. What I want you to do for number 10, I want you to pull back on the right joystick and push up on the left joystick. And what that's going to do is your drone's going to fly backwards and up. And the reason I want to show you this movement and why I think you should practice this is that this is a movement that people love getting with drones. It's those shots you see where you have a person standing there on like a cliff or an edge or something. You pull back to reveal the bigger landscape. You're not just pulling straight back, you're pulling back and up. So doing this, you get a dramatic shot that reveals the landscape and you get the bigger picture. And this is your introduction to more advanced drone flying. These are the kind of shots that are really going to make your footage shine. So you want to do compound movements where it's 2 or 3 different movements at the same time. You could be using your gimbal, your left joystick, and your right joystick to create these compound movements that are more dramatic and more cinematic. Guys, I have another video that is all about my favorite movements where you take 2 or 3 movements and create these dramatic shots. I'll make sure to link that in the description below so you can check that out. But remember guys, slow, smooth movements are the best to create cinematic footage.
Hey, there's a spider on our ceiling. Alright guys, I hope that was helpful. Stay safe flying and have fun with your Spark because it is an awesome piece of equipment. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I've got a lot of awesome drone and cinematic technique videos for you. Also, if you haven't already, check us out on Instagram @Wanderworks. And guys, I'll see you on the next one.